All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of All in a Day's Work. How's it going? It's your boy Trip. And today, this is a mental health minute for our Mental Health Monday. Before we get started, this is All in a Day's Work, officially signing on. All right, everybody, welcome back. Remember, if you guys like what you guys are seeing, please share this page. Click that notification bell, hit that like button, and get that notification every time we do a video on YouTube. It's gonna get notified to all your devices and all that good stuff. So please check in with that. Please hit that bell. Let's get this thing started. So, Mental Health Monday. Something I thought I would start doing with you guys here is kind of just talking about what mental health is, some of the struggles, and maybe some tools and techniques on how we can get over that mental health hump. And one of the things that I thought of that might be beneficial, as most would say, is utilizing some of the skills that I was taught while I was in the Army. And we can go on and on and on about different skills that the Army has taught us, or just the military in general has taught us, and one way to make us a better civilized, country and just a civilized people. But one of the best things that I think that the military put me through was our Master Resiliency training program. Now, I'm sure I'll get a lot of flack from this from some of the Joes and things like that. Like, really, you're going to talk about MRT? That shit sucked, or that was a waste of time. It was boring, and whatever. I'm sure there's a lot of haters out there as far as MRT is concerned. However, one of the things that I learned is by being forced to go to the course at the time. I'll be honest with you, I didn't want to go at first because I had that same stigma. Fuck this, I don't want to talk about mental health, my feelings, blah, 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 right? Well, it turns out I had a pretty decent command, and they were like, look, you're going to this class anyways. It's going to change your perspective, and you're a really good people person. You're going to be an instructor, whatever. You're going to this course, suck it up, right? So I go to this course, right? And one of the first things that they ask you is, how many of you actually like the MRT program or think it's beneficial and whatnot? And those are a real small percentage of the classroom that actually raised their hand. And the instructor was like, you know what? I welcome that. I'm glad that you guys think that way. All I ask is that throughout the duration of this class, you give us 100%. Just try it out 100%, and I guarantee your perspective will be changed by the end of the first week. And I was like, all right, yeah, whatever, lady. Get out of here. Anybody can, say that stuff to make the class sound good. But one of the biggest thing I learned out of going to that class was it's all about the instructor. If the instructor teaching whatever of the lessons, the instructor is lively and can keep the audience engaged and enjoying the actual material, you gain so much more from that class. And it actually turns out to be a lot of fun and kind of like mind-blowing how well they do this class and how well they put together these scenarios that just hit you. They hit home and makes you think like, dang, maybe I'm looking at this a different way, or I'm only looking at this one-sided. So the course kind of dives into your mind, and then it tells you about or how to work through these everyday problems that we have. And I thought, well, why not? Since I have this certification, I went through the full 80-hour course. I went through the full instructor course. And I realized, just because I'm out of the military doesn't mean that I didn't have this knowledge. And I would like to consider myself, I was a pretty good instructor when I did the class. And anybody that has sat through one of my MRT classes here, at least at JBLM, please, if you feel free to leave a comment, let me know how you thought I did the classes, because I'm all about getting good criticism. But honestly, I thought it was a lot of fun. But my thought processes was, why not dive into some of those skills directly from the certification I already have? So for you guys, I'm going to go ahead and dive into one of the skills. And I think this is one of the most fundamental skills that you learn, and that's called goal setting. All right? Goal setting. You're probably thinking, what the hell is this guy talking about, right? Anybody can talk about goals. We all have goals, or you don't have any goals, whatever. I think we get caught up in our own, whatever you want to call it, self-enjoyment, or these new echo chamber of lives that we all have, and we forget to actually sit back and just think about ourselves for a moment and think about what we need to do to better ourselves, or better yet, what we need to do to better ourselves. But where are we at in that journey? Where are we actually at? Where am I in bettering myself? What do I have to back up that notion of me saying, yeah, I'm working on myself right now. I'm trying to be the best me that I can be, right? Or all those things that we say. But how often are we actually sitting back to actually think about that? And what we're doing currently that is possibly either in the way of me achieving that goal, or maybe there's something that I am doing that I need to improve on to make me achieve that goal even faster. And I thought, well, why not dive into talking about some goals here on the Mental Health Monday? And maybe you have a goal and you might think it's far-fetched right now, or maybe you have a goal that you put on the back burner. You'll get to it eventually. I gotta hit X, Y, and Z first before I even think about that goal. You prioritize your own goals, or you end up giving up on those goals or dreams. Well, let's dive into how we can fix that. Let's dive into how we can actually peel back the onion. How we can set a goal and then hold ourselves accountable for reaching that goal. I think together we can do that. Honestly, everybody should have at least one long-term goal that they want to achieve at some point in their life. But it's those short-term goals, I think, that we fall short on. Because either the goal is so short-term that you can achieve it at any given time, or maybe the goal is just not that important, and those short-term goals we just shrug off and we don't think about because I'll get to it eventually, right? So then I was thinking about, what are short-term goals? What are long-term goals? And how often are we holding ourselves accountable and achieving that goal, or even putting ourselves on a timeline? Well, today I'm going to teach you about goal setting and why it's important. So, something that I learned, I went to this course in 2015. It's an 80-hour course, and then you also, if you got selected to go to the level 2, to actually like the instructor program, you got to learn all kinds of stuff. This is the Master Resiliency Trainer course that the Army has. I'm not sure if there's a different version of the same class throughout the different branches, but as far as the Army is concerned, I think they did a pretty decent job at identifying that we need to focus on resiliency, the ability to bounce back from a setback. So either way, I went to this course in 2015, and I passed the class. I actually did pretty decent, really well actually, because I went to the instructor course and started teaching, how to actually instruct others to become and help facilitate breakout chambers and things like that. But enough about me. Let's talk about you and your goals. What is a goal? Or better yet, what is goal setting? Because everybody can think about, well, yeah, I want to achieve this. Right? I want to achieve that thing at some point in my life. And yes, that's the goal. Well, how are we going to achieve that goal? That's where I think we fall short on. It's too easy to say, yeah, well, one day I want to be a pilot. or one day I want to be a chef. One day I want to be a soldier. All great things to want to achieve, but how are we going to do that? So this is about peeling that onion back and getting down to all the necessary steps that you have to take to get to said goal. Okay. Now, I'm not going to teach this to you guys verbatim like the course actually would want me to and follow on, because at the end of the day, that is what that course specifically is designed for. I'm just going to kind of break it down, and maybe these are some steps and things that you can think of and use in your everyday life. And if you don't like it, then you guys can just, click on to the next video. But I think you will. I honestly think you will. So let's talk about goal setting for a second. What is goal setting? Well, the CSF2 program, which is a comprehensive soldier family fitness program, they kind of put those words together, goal setting, and they defined it themselves as it's used to identify, it's used to plan for and commit to the pursuit of a goal that results in a more optimal performance, sustained motivation, and increased effort. If you set a goal, you have to work towards that goal. And the first person who knows when you're slacking is yourself. Unless it's your mother, of course, because your mother always knows when you're slipping. So what they did, they went ahead and broke it down into 7 simple steps. These 7 simple steps will help you achieve your goal, whatever that goal is. The first step is defining your goal. What is that goal that I want to achieve? It can be anything. Long term, short term, something you want to achieve right now, throughout the day. You have to figure that out. So first things first, define what that goal is. Okay? And when you define a goal, don't sell yourself short. It can be anything. What I would like for you to do, if you have time, write down a goal that you have. But don't sell yourself short on one goal. Sometimes I like to say 3 long-term, 3 short-term. There's no limit. Just write down as many goals as you can think of. Take the next 1 minute. Let's say take the next 1 minute and just write down as many goals as you possibly can. Okay? 1 minute. These goals can be as far off as I want to become the first person on Mars fighting a new civilization of life or species. It can be that far-fetched. Just write down goals, okay? Regardless of how important they are to you or how far-fetched they are, write those goals down, because who knows? Maybe there will be a way for you to achieve the impossible. So let's take the next, what we have left, 30 or so seconds. Finish writing up those goals. And then we'll dive into step 2. Okay, everybody. Well, now that you've written down your goal, the first thing I said was define your goal. Well, what is it? Mine, let's just say I want to buy a house. It's a pretty adult thing to do, especially with how things are going now, and you might need some real estate. So I've defined the goal that I'm going to work through in these problems or in these lessons is I want to buy a house. Well, that's a pretty good goal, but what does it take to buy a house? Am I ready to buy a house? There's a lot of questions that can be looming through your head. That's a big debt to take on. So the second step, step number 2 in this goal setting process is know where you are right now. What does that mean? You start to jot down a couple of things like, where am I at financially right now? If I want to buy a house, I have to know at least where I'm at and what I can afford, what the best interest rates are, how is my credit looking right now. A bunch of different things that you have to think about. Where am I at right now? If I wanted to buy a house today, could I do it and with what I have? Where am I at? Where am I at in my job? Where am I at mentally? Socially? What are the plans? Is this going to be a short-term house or a long-term to raise a family and grow up? So figuring out where you are currently. Go ahead and take 30 seconds to write down where you are right now. All right. Let's get into step number 3. Decide what you need to develop. So let's say we're going to stick with my goal, which was I want to buy a house. But that house costs $400,000. And it's a decent house. It's a 3-bedroom house, 2-bathroom, half-acre lot, updated new kitchen, bonus room, all these good things. Nice neighborhood, close to schools, police station, all these decent things. The house costs $400,000. Well, what do I need to develop in order to either, let's say, put down a down payment? How much of a down payment? How long is that going to take? See, what I'm asking is your goal. You have this main goal, right? Is goal setting. I want to buy a house. And all these different steps, you're going to break down different little goals in order for you to achieve and obtain that ultimate number one goal, which is, in this case, buying a house. So decide what you need to develop. Develop a strategy as in how often do I need to save every week or every month or every 2 weeks that you get paid in order to reach that 20%. So let's just say you get paid once a month and you get paid $4,000 a month. Let's just say that's your annual. Or excuse me, that's your monthly $4,000 every month. That's your salary. Well, how much of that am I going to need to put down 20% of that $400,000 home? Give or take. Well, now you need to develop a strategy, develop a plan. Well, if I cut out eating this amount of much this week or throughout the month, that'll save me this many dollars. Well, how close is that many dollars to your 20%? Okay, well, maybe if I worked a part-time job or whatever the case is, develop a strategy. What do you need to develop in order to get there? Okay. And then step 4, what you're going to do is make a plan for steady improvement. Now, what does that mean? We can break that down and peel it back so many different ways. Make a plan for what you need to for steady improvement. Well, that right there is pretty much saying, all right, coach, you're the coach now. You're going to drop a new plan because you need to improve on your team. And what you're going to do is literally just write down a plan. How often are you going to check in on yourself? You have this goal. You set up a strategy for checking in on yourself, holding yourself accountable. When you want to go buy that Starbucks coffee, you have your car automatically alert you so it pops in your face that you're buying Starbucks again this week or whatever. Or maybe set up a reminder on your smartphone and it says something like, all right, don't eat out today. You packed a lunch. Something that's going to hold yourself accountable and remind you. So write that out, a plan. How are you going to make a plan for steady improvement? Whatever that plan is, you got to think about that. Work through those steps. Make yourself your own plan. And then step 5 is pursue regular action. Actually put it to work. Put it to use. Test out those reminders on your phone. test out those notifications. Do what you need to do. Okay? That's entirely up to you. That's the beauty of this skill. The beauty of this is it's 100% tailored towards you and how you want to achieve that goal. But you have to understand there will be times where something might set you back from attaining those extra little things that you're doing in these steps. Like, for instance, I'm trying to save up enough money for 20%. I've taken eating out of my equation, but now the car needs maintenance. Or kids need new school clothes. The light bill didn't get paid last month because we forgot. Now we have overcharges. Life happens. I get it. That right there, you need to work into your plan. Okay? Work that into your plan, because when there are setbacks, and there will be setbacks, you have to be able to adjust and ensure that you're still keeping that goal in mind. That's important. A lot of times we get hit with a setback and that's all we can seem to focus on at the moment. But don't let that moment distract you from obtaining that goal. You have to keep that in the forefront. I'm not going to say ignore those other setbacks and those problems, because you have to take those on as they come. However, keep in mind that goal. That way, when those setbacks happen, you can deal with them in a fashion that's still going to maintain you striking that number one goal. It's very important. Step number 6, commit yourself completely. Not partially, but completely. And the reason it says that, I think, is because it's easy for us to say, well, yeah, I got this goal, I'm going to stay committed, right? We hear it every year. January time frame. This is my year. I'm going to get in the gym. I'm going to get fit. 2 months into the gym, they're not going as much. Well, something came up. I have to work a little later today. I'm not going to I'll get to it next time. Or, well, I went last week, so I'll be able to just make it up next week. I'll work twice as hard. And we all know the excuses. And then they ended up having, this 6-7 month gym membership that they haven't even had enough time to go and cancel because they didn't fully commit. Maybe your goal is to lose 100 pounds in a year. It's a lot of weight to lose in 1 year, but I know it can be done in a healthy way. Maybe your goal is to become the next CEO of a big company. Maybe that goal is to just graduate high school, graduate college. Maybe your goal is to become a law enforcement officer or a soldier, EMS firefighter, doctor, lawyer, whatever that goal is. You want to commit yourself 100%. Think about the outcome you're going to get when you achieve that goal. Think about how good it's going to set your family up, your kids up. Maybe it'll set up some friends. Who knows? Think about the good that's going to come if you achieve this goal. That is what's going to help you commit yourself. So think about what's most important to you. Write those things down, and that right there is what might get you exactly what you need to get to that goal. So commit yourself. And the last step in this is step number 7, which is continually monitor your progress. So that right there is as simple as setting yourself and sticking to a timeline. And then how often are you going to check in with yourself to achieve a goal? You can do that however you want, however often you want. If you feel like you tend to slack off more often than not in achieving certain goals, maybe you should check in with yourself, once a week or every 10 days or so. Hey, how are we doing on that goal? Have you ate out this many times this week? however many times you need to check in with yourself and write down, well, no, I did eat out twice this week, which cost this amount of money I could have saved, blah, 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 blah. Write that out. That way it holds yourself accountable. You can fully see the times that you slipped up and work that as a secondary goal. Well, I want to not slip up this many times throughout this year or however long you set yourself up on this goal. Okay? So you want to continually monitor yourself until eventually you achieve that goal. That's it. 7 quick steps. Now you're probably thinking like, you gotta be kidding me. That's it? Or, what did I waste my time for this shit? I could have read that online and got this. And you're right. But I'm gonna be honest with you. Everybody works differently. Everybody learns differently. Maybe some people might need this. There's no shame in that. So I'm gonna read these 7 steps to you guys one at a time. And you guys can find all of this information yourselves on the www.army.mil. I'll leave the link down here in the description for you guys. It has all of the materials, at least as far as like a broad view of what the Master Resiliency program I was talking about and referencing. That's where I get a lot of this information from. Okay, so I'll leave the link down there for you guys. But let's go ahead and get into those 7 steps that I told you about for your goal setting. First one was defining your goal. Whatever that goal is. Defining it, writing it out. What is that goal? Step number 2, know where you are right now. Step 3, decide what you need to develop. What do I need to do in order to get to that goal? Step 4, make a plan for steady improvement. Step number 5, pursue regular action, actually putting that into play. Step number 6, commit yourself completely. And last but not least, step number 7, continually monitor your progress. I promise you, if you do those things, just those simple 7 steps, and you commit yourself to achieving that goal, you work through those 7 steps, I will guarantee you will achieve that goal. There's not a doubt in my mind. You have it in you. All you have to do is just give it a try. I mean, honestly, what else are we doing right now? I mean, we can spend time scrolling the feed and getting likes and dislikes and all those things. Because, yeah, it's entertaining. But at the end of the day, at some point, that gets old. And you're going to want to actually set yourself up. So, why not work through just 7 steps and achieve that goal? I don't know. Think about it, guys. Either way, that's all I got today for our Mental Health Minute on Mental Health Monday. I wish you guys the very best. Hope you guys are having a good weekend. Hope you had a good weekend. It's summertime. Be sure to be safe out there, everybody. And remember, if you need anything from us, please go ahead and leave us a comment. Hit us up on our website at allindays.com. We have a resource page. We have everything that we need on that website. All right, we got our merch on there. We got a donate button on there. We're actually working through a fundraiser right now. We're trying to raise $5,000 to help out the homeless veterans in our area, getting them some of the supplies and things that they need for the summertime. So please check out our website at allindays.com or see on the Facebook page. We also have the fundraiser and thing on our Facebook page at All in a Day's Work. But before we get in with this video, please like, share, and subscribe. That's all I ask, and click that notification bell. It's been a Mental Health Minute on a Mental Health Monday with your boy Trip. This is All in a Day's Work. Signing off. Stay safe.